Alright, what's happening, guys? So as you can tell by the title of the video, today we're talking about the waitlist process. A lot of you guys have been commenting asking me to make a video because I did get off the waitlist at Princeton, which is why I'm here. I also got waitlisted at 3 other schools. It was Stanford, Columbia, and I think Yale. I really can't remember. Regardless, if you haven't seen the other videos, go check them out. But today we'll just be talking about the waitlist because I know it's a very confusing and daunting process because you're just banking on the slim chance that you could get accepted, which is not bad to have. But like I've said before, no matter what, you should not be basing your college decisions off of that slim chance because it's really just luck of the draw and you never know what's going to happen. Alright, so first and foremost, the waitlist process, let me kind of explain what it is. Essentially, the admissions committee looks at all the applications and they say that you're not good enough and you're not bad enough. You're kind of in this middle process, which is ambiguous, and people get put on the waitlist for different reasons depending on whether it's your grades weren't good enough, your extracurriculars weren't good enough, or you were kind of lacking in some areas but not others. You could have been a valedictorian but you didn't have your extracurriculars to pull through, or vice versa, or whatever, any combination. And that's essentially why people get put on the waitlist. And to be honest, there's really no easy way to get off. There's no special trick that's going to give you the upper hand or the advantage. But I guess in this video I'll just talk to you guys about what I did to update my applications. Okay, so when I found out I was waitlisted at 4 schools, the very first thing I did, which I recommend you do pretty soon, I'm sorry I dropped the ball and made this video a little late, but first and foremost, accept your spot on the waitlist. If you watch my other previous video, I say that in my opinion, in my personal opinion, I just think it's smart to accept any spot on any waitlist, regardless if you even want to go to that school or not, just so you have options open. You never know what's going to happen, and it wouldn't be the smartest idea to close any doors before you know exactly what's going to happen, you know what I mean? So yeah, first off, accept that position on the waitlist, and then from there, what I personally did was, in between the months that I applied, which was in October and November, versus when I found out, which is March and April now, things definitely could have changed. Your financial circumstances could have changed, or you could have gotten more achievements like National Merit Finalist, or become president of a club, or whatever it is. If there have been updates to your application, what I did was, I sent an email to my admissions committee saying, "Hi, my name is Nicolas Chae. I was waitlisted for the class of 2021, but here are some updates that I would like to be reflected in my application." And I wrote up a Google Doc of the different achievements and accomplishments that I wanted, and I saved it as a PDF and attached it to that email so they could just add that update to my file on hand. That's a really great way for them to know that, first off, you're still interested in attending that school, and second, that you've worked hard even after you applied and you didn't just sit around and do nothing. Like, you went out for these accomplishments and you made progress. Okay, I just found my actual letter that I sent, and essentially I kind of copied and pasted the same information and just replaced the school's name, but this is, I wouldn't say the sole reason, but it could be the reason that I got off the waitlist at Princeton. I'm kind of hesitant to read it to you guys because I don't want you to copy this verbatim, but I mean, whatever. This is very unique to my application, my story. Like, I don't want you guys to copy exactly what I say word for word because these schools also have my letter on hand and it would hurt you to plagiarize exactly what I wrote. But essentially, it's just a letter. It says, "Dear Admissions Committee, it was with both great excitement and disappointment to see the status update on my admissions portal last week. Happy that I still had a chance at attending Princeton University, but also anxious about having to wait a few more weeks for the final decision. Please accept this letter as an addendum to my application in order to provide brief updates about my senior year achievements. Since I submitted my application to Princeton, I was named the National Merit Semifinalist and advanced to National Merit Finalist standing. I have also maintained my grades and will be graduating in the top 25 students out of 873 at Flower Mound High School. In addition, I was named the finalist in the Photographers Forum National College and High School Photography Contest out of 13,000 submissions. As mentioned in my application, photography has had a tremendous impact on my life. Throughout the past few months, I've used my skills and connections to build up my small business, Chae Productions, throughout the Dallas-Fort Worth area. In 2017 alone, I've had over 20 client shoots amounting in over $2,500, all made through self-marketing and networking within the area. I have also been hired as a freelance photographer for our local Flower Mound Style magazine and work with them regularly to photograph town events. At the end of March, my mom lost her job and is currently unemployed. My entrepreneurial ability was motivated not only by my passion for photography, but also my determination to help my mom. As the oldest son, I've used these profits to expand my business and also alleviate funds at home. To Despite having to wait a few more weeks, having any opportunity to be in New Jersey this fall would be an honor. After visiting campus last year, there seems to be no better place than Princeton to call home for the next 4 years. I sincerely appreciate the opportunity for a second review based on these additional achievements. As Princeton is my first choice, if admitted, I will accept without hesitation and matriculate to the class of 2021. Sincerely, Nicolas Chae. So essentially, it was a one-page letter stating my updated achievements, how the things that I said in my application were continually impacting my life, like the photography business and my financial aid statement and my grades and everything like that. So obviously you're gonna have your own unique story, but I guarantee that sending a letter or an update is better than nothing at all. And here's the thing, this is a very top secret, not sure if I should be telling you guys, but I will because whatever. Your last line could be something along the lines of, if admitted, I will accept without hesitation and matriculate to the class of 2022. That kind of last line shows them that you're really interested, and if you do get accepted off the waitlist, that you're gonna revoke your admissions to another school and take your spot at Princeton. So obviously take it with a grain of salt and be very smart about what you're saying, and it should be somewhat factual. I'm not gonna say that if Princeton isn't a school that I was actually considering, it may not be your first choice, but it's better than saying nothing, you know what I mean? Other tips that I would recommend are go visit the campus that you're accepted at already. So little backstory, I was committed to Northwestern University in Evanston, Chicago. After I got rejected and waitlisted at all my other schools, I looked at all my other options, which were UC Berkeley, NYU, UT, OU, Vanderbilt, and Northwestern. So I flew out to Northwestern, visited the campus, and it was all right. My English teacher, he told me that as soon as you step foot on campus, you'll know, it'll click. And for me, when I was on Northwestern, it didn't click. We road trip down to Vanderbilt in Nashville, Tennessee, and the same thing, I love the campus, it's beautiful, the people seem really nice, but I couldn't see myself there for the next 4 years. And so, when I say that everything happens for a reason, I truly mean it. When I stepped foot on Princeton's campus, after I got off the wait list, things just clicked, you know what I mean? I could really tell that this would be the place for me for the next 4 years. And looking back, I'm not saying that I regret accepting my choice here. I think I would enjoy here better than I would at other schools. But that's not to say that there's some cons to coming here. Does that make sense? Okay, so just to reiterate, please do not base your college decision off of the slim chance that you're going to be accepted off the waitlist at any school, regardless if it's Ivy League or not. The waitlist is an incredibly selective and difficult process to get off of. The fact that I was accepted off is very rare. If admissions to these schools are 5%, I would say admittance off the waitlist is 1%, which is super difficult. And it's hard for me to say this because I am speaking from the positive side of the waitlist, but in most cases, for the majority of you guys, it may not end up so well, and I just don't want you guys to be crushed, because as good as it is to have hopes of getting accepted at your dream school, you're gonna be a lot more devastated if you had such high hopes and you weren't mentally preparing yourself to be starting school at another university. That being said, the day that I did get off the waitlist at Princeton was probably one of the best days. I remember it so vividly. I'll tell the story real quick. I was in my government class, 4th period, and granted, I had been looking at the College Confidential forums, and some were saying that waitlist decisions were coming out this week. And so, I'm just sitting in class, and I get this call, and the caller ID says from Princeton, New Jersey. I'm sitting there with my 2 best friends. I kind of showed them the phone. They're looking at me like, what's going on? They didn't know that decisions were coming out this week. I go in the hall. I just leave my class. I go in the hall, and I answer. The lady's like, "Hi, is this Nicolas Chae?" I'm like, "Yes, may I ask who's calling?" She says, "I'm calling from the Princeton admissions office. I just want to say congratulations." I mean, those were the last words I heard. I was just so in shock and disbelief. Holy shit, is this actually happening? Did I just get off the wait list? And, I go back in my class. I tell my friends, holy crap, I got into Princeton. Everyone's cheering for me. It's a good time. I go run around school, asking my teachers, "Hey, what do I do? I thought I was going to Northwestern. This is such a big change for me." And, the best advice that they told me was just, do what your heart tells you to do what you're passionate about. And it really took a long time for me to reflect on that, because as good as Princeton was, as good as Harvard or Stanford or any of these name brand schools are, there's a lot of cons. I'm kind of blanking if I've already talked about this, so forgive me if I'm being repetitive, but classes are super hard. People are so competitively intelligent. Grade deflation. So many factors that play into an Ivy League may not be the best fit for you personally. At the end of the day, obviously Princeton is the #1 school in the country, so there's no way I couldn't accept, you know, like personally I knew that I would be a better fit there than Northwestern. So yeah, obviously take everything I'm saying with a grain of salt. I really appreciate that you guys look up to me, but that's not to say that I know everything about the waitlist process. I could be completely wrong. That letter could just be complete bullshit. But I hope this helps some of you guys. I know that it's a very stressful process just waiting for the next few weeks. You thought you were done with the college application process, but they throw you the curveball like psych. Other than that, if you have any other questions, leave them down below. If you're here for preview the 9th or the 16th, swipe up on those Instagram DMs. And yeah, I will catch you guys next time.